20 years. That's how long it's been since Avatar: The Last Airbender was first aired. And yeah, after 2 decades, hundreds of rewatches, thousands of memes, endless TikTok edits, Avatar is still one of the greatest animated stories ever told. And I say that not as a critic, but as a fan. I own the DVD set and the Blu-ray set. I've watched the show more times than I can count. I even have The Legend of Korra proudly next to it on my shelf back there. My son has an Appa plushie, and yes, I fly him around my living room quite frequently, like we're headed to Omashu. Avatar isn't just something I enjoyed once. It became a piece of who I am as a person. And if I had to choose one theme, one truth, one thing that keeps pulling me back to this show, it would be this. Aang never compromises who he is, even when the entire world, even when his friends, tell him he has to. In my opinion, that's why he wins. And that's what makes Avatar truly special. Avatar is a war narrative, a century of fire and ash, whole cultures wiped out, drama, loss, fear, everywhere. Most stories like this follow a similar path. To defeat a monster, you must also become a monster. And we actually touched on this in my last video about Code Geass and Lelouch v. Britannia becoming a demon to defeat the demonic Britannian Empire. Think Anakin, think Zuko, anybody trying to do something like that, they always end up evil in the process. But right in the middle of this war is a 12-year-old kid. And he still believes that people can change, that love is a real option in a violent world. And the show doesn't treat that like it's just a cute gimmick. It treats it like it's a crisis of morality. And that's what sets this cartoon apart from shows like Ben 10 or other narrative Western cartoons. I mean, look at the pressure around it. Katara has lost her mother. Her mercy cost her something. Sokka has seen his tribe reduced to almost nothing. He knows survival times demand ugly choices. Toph, bless her gremlin heart, genuinely thinks you sometimes need to break the rules to break the enemy. Even the past avatars, the literal legacy of his calling, tell him that sometimes you have to take a life to save a life. These aren't bad arguments, and that's why the conflict hits so hard. Aang isn't naive. He might be 12, but he's not naive. He's alone, and he stands resolute in his moral convictions. He keeps asking himself, if I have to become someone else to save the world, did the world really get saved? This is one of the central questions Avatar presents to us. And that question, it's not for kids. It's not just for kids, at least. It's for anyone who's been told, grow up, harden up. That idealism, drop it. Anybody who's been told any message like that from the world or society, that's who this story is made for. Here's what makes Aang's arc real. Nonviolence isn't his quirk. It's his culture, his identity. It's his vocation. The air nomads believed all life is sacred. Not because the world is cute and safe and there's polar bear dogs. No, it's because every person is capable of change. Every being is capable of change. And that's a hard belief. It's harder than throwing fists or fire blasting somebody. It's harder than giving up and giving in. It's easy to abandon your values when life gets dark, hard, or difficult. It's easy to think you're just being realistic. But that's not what Avatar says. Avatar says realism is not the same as despair. When we finally reach Sozin's Comet, that show's finale, Aang isn't just outmatched in power, he's outmatched in certainty. Ozai believes in domination without hesitation. Aang, on the other hand, believes in mercy, but feels like it might be failing him in this scenario. And then we have that beautiful lion turtle scene. Beautiful lion turtle scene. And some people think that this is like a Deus Ex Machina, but I assure you that it is not. Aang finds a path that doesn't ask him to stop being who he is. He doesn't choose the easy way. He chooses the faithful way. Being faithful to who he is as a person, being faithful to the air nomads who raised him. He refuses to kill. He refuses to hate. He refuses to let the world force him to betray his own heart, his own convictions. And this is what's crucial about this theme in Avatar. He doesn't win despite his values. He wins because he kept them. If he had just gone in there and obliterated the Fire Nation, or King Ozai or Emperor Ozai or whatever he was calling himself, that wouldn't have been winning to Aang. He would have lost his soul. So the energy bending from the lion turtle isn't a magical loophole. It's a philosophical declaration, and it's the very point of the show. There is always another option besides becoming the thing that you hate or fear. Let's look at this through a Catholic lens. As a Catholic, I personally can't help but notice that this is exactly what the church teaches as far as how virtue works. You don't get to suspend goodness or truth or beauty just because the stakes rise in your own personal life. St. Augustine said that peace isn't the mere absence of war, it's the presence of right order, of a healed world. And I think that Avatar believes that too, or at least I think that the creators of the show intended to share a similar message to that. Ends don't become good just because they're big, The victory has to reflect the world you want to build or create. Be the change you want to see in the world, if you want to put it that way. Aang doesn't just want fire to stop burning everything down. He wants the world to breathe air again. If you ask me, I think that the aftermath of everything proves that Aang was correct. Look at his choices. Zuko's redemption, for instance. Beautiful. Being able to rebuild nations.
Empire City.
Creating a place where all of the nations, the air, the earth, the water, the fire can all be equal. Pitara forgiving the man who hurt her, but without pretending that it didn't matter to her. These are the things that Aang's convictions bring about. In other words, Aang doesn't just end a war, he restores hope. He protects not just lives, but the souls of the people who live in the world of Avatar. Maybe the reason Avatar hits so hard is because the world we live in constantly rewards compromise. Speak harsher, fight dirtier, do whatever it takes to win, no holds barred. But Aang shows us a bigger truth, a better truth. Victory that costs your identity, costs your soul, costs your virtues, costs your moral convictions is really just another kind of defeat. The real power is in holding the line, staying true to who you are, staying who you promised to be when you first learned what good even meant. That's strength. That's maturity. That's peace. That's virtue. I love this show. I love the jokes. I love the bending, the incredible character arcs, the fight scenes, everything about it, the music. But most of all, I love that in a story full of war, the hero still chooses love. Not because it's easy, but because it's right. Aang didn't save the world by being the strongest bender. He saved the world by being true to himself. Don't lose who you are just to win, just to score points. Thanks for watching. If you love deep storytelling analysis, media that actually means something, stick around. subscribe to this channel. This is the type of content I'm doing constantly. I'm a Catholic first, so I'm always approaching media and pop culture from sort of a spiritual Catholic lens. What positive messages does media teach us? I just did a video on Code Geass. That'll be linked down below. My next video is probably going to be on some movie that comes out in November, maybe Wicked Part 2 or Zootopia. We'll see what I kind of can find there. But if not, I know I'm working on a Naruto video about brotherhood and prodigal son and all of that. So please subscribe, share this with your friends, leave comments. I'd love to hear what you guys want me to cover next. As always, I'm Shwa. This is Pop Culture, and peace be with you.